What if I told you that the moment you stop being easy to control, some people stop being who they pretended to be? Have you ever felt that shift? You say no for once. You set a boundary. And suddenly, someone you trusted starts acting cold, distant, or worse, starts turning others against you. It hits you like a quiet betrayal. Because here's the truth. Most people don't want to admit. When they can't control you, they'll try to break you. Not always with anger. Sometimes with guilt. Sometimes with silence. Sometimes with lies told just quietly enough to do damage. They won't walk away. They'll scheme. They'll strike from the shadows. But this is where your power begins. Because freedom isn't loud. It's calm, still, unshaken. And when you understand what's really happening, you stop taking it personally and start standing in your truth. Stick with me till the end, because the last tactic is the most dangerous of all, and it's one most people never even see coming. Emotional manipulation tactics. When people realize they can't control you outright, they don't always get louder. They get smarter, subtler, more emotional. They shift from commands to manipulation. Suddenly, it's not about what they want. It's about how you should feel. Guilt, flattery, emotional pressure. You'll hear things like, "After everything I've done for you, this is how you treat me." Or the softer touch, "You're so good at this, I honestly don't know what I'd do without you." It sounds kind. It sounds sincere. But look closer and you'll see the strings. You're being pulled gently, but pulled nonetheless. See, they don't want to fight you. They want you to hand over your power willingly. They want you to say yes, not because you want to, but because you feel bad if you don't. But here's where Stoicism steps in like a breath of fresh clarity. Epictetus said, "He who controls others may be powerful, but he who has mastered himself is mightier still." This isn't about fighting them. It's about not reacting to them. Think of it like a chess game. Every guilt trip, every compliment, every dramatic sigh is a calculated move meant to make you move, to make you feel like you owe them something. But what if you didn't play? What if, instead of defending or justifying, you simply paused, observed, and calmly said, "I know what you're doing." No anger, no argument, just awareness. Because the second you see manipulation for what it is, it loses its power over you. And the manipulator, they have nowhere left to go. Remember, the strongest move is often no move at all. The power of slander. When someone loses control over you, they often try to control something else, your reputation. They don't confront you. They don't try to fix things. They twist your words in private conversations. They plant subtle doubts. They share concerns that sound just innocent enough to spread, but damaging enough to stick. Why? Because if they can't manipulate you, they'll try to manipulate how others see you. It's not about truth. It's about influence. It's about turning the crowd against you so they can feel powerful again. And I get it, it hurts. Being misunderstood is hard. Being lied about is even harder. Your first instinct might be to fight back, explain, defend, clear your name. But that's exactly what they want. Because The moment you start chasing their lies, you step into their game. And suddenly, you're dancing to their tune again. But here's where Stoic wisdom offers a deeper strength. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you are unaffected by what is said, you have already won." Let that settle in. You don't have to shout your truth from rooftops. You don't need to call a press conference to clear your name. Truth doesn't panic. It doesn't chase lies around the room. It stands tall, quietly, steadily, until the noise dies down. Imagine someone throwing mud at you. If you flail and fight it, you only get messier. But if you stay calm, let the mud dry. You can brush it off clean. That's the Stoic way. Let your character speak louder than their gossip. Let time reveal what words can't. Because here's what I've learned. People who need lies to bring you down were never strong enough to stand next to your truth. Victim playing for control. Here's a brutal truth. When someone can't control your actions, they'll try to control the story. Suddenly, you become the villain. Not because you did something wrong, but because you stopped doing what they wanted. You set a boundary, you said no. You chose peace over people-pleasing. But instead of respecting that, they flip the script. They cry foul. They twist your strength into selfishness. They take your silence as cruelty, your boundaries as betrayal. And just like that, you're the bad guy in their carefully crafted tragedy. They go to others not for healing, but for support. Not for truth, but for sympathy. And here's the trap. The more you try to defend yourself, the guiltier you look. Because now you're caught in their narrative, playing a part in their performance. But you don't have to audition for that role. You don't have to step onto their stage. Your move, step back. Let them perform without you. Let time be your proof. Because Epictetus said, "It best a wise man does not allow others to dictate his emotions." And that includes guilt. That includes shame. If they need to play the victim to feel powerful, let them. Just don't let their act become your reality. Stay calm. Stay kind. And let your consistent character speak louder than their shifting story. Because eventually, people will stop watching the performance and start seeing the truth. Isolation through influence. Not everyone will come at you directly. Some people play a quieter game, a colder one. They won't fight you face to face. They'll go around you, behind you. They'll start with whispers, little comments, subtle suggestions. I don't know if you can really trust them. I've noticed they've changed lately. And before you know it, people you thought were in your corner start stepping back, acting different, pulling away. Why? Because when you're surrounded, you're strong. But when you're alone, you're easier to control. It's the oldest strategy in the book, divide and conquer. If they can isolate you, they don't need to overpower you. They just need to make you question your support system and eventually yourself. But here's where Stoic wisdom cuts through the fog. Seneca said, "Associate only with those who improve you. Avoid those who would pull you down." That's your compass. Because real friends, they don't walk away after one rumor. They don't flinch at secondhand stories. They ask, they listen, they know you. And those who vanish the moment someone plants a lie, they were never standing with you. They were just standing near you. So don't chase them. Don't try to explain yourself into someone's loyalty. Instead, tighten your circle, strengthen your roots, and let your actions prove what words never could. Because once the dust settles, you'll find that the people who stayed, they're your real tribe. And the ones who turned away, they simply made space for something better. Before we jump into Lesson 5, take a moment to do me a small favor. Hit like, subscribe, and share this message. Your simple action can help more people who are struggling with this issue find the content they need. Thank you for being a part of this. Undermining your confidence. Sometimes the most dangerous attack doesn't come with raised voices or obvious lies. It comes with a soft tone, a tilted head, a concerned look. Are you sure about that? That seems kind of risky. I mean, if it were me, I'd think twice. Sounds like they care, right? But look deeper. This isn't concern. This is quiet sabotage. They're not questioning your decision. They're questioning your confidence. And here's the catch. They do it in a way that makes you feel like you're the one being impulsive. Like maybe you didn't think things through. Like maybe you need their approval after all. But you don't. Because confidence, real confidence, doesn't raise its voice. It doesn't defend itself. It just keeps moving forward. It's like walking across a solid bridge, and someone stands beside it whispering, "Are you sure it's safe? The bridge is fine." But if you listen too long, you'll hesitate. Not because of the truth, but because of their fear. That's how it works. They shake your certainty so they can step back in as the voice of reason. But Stoicism has a better voice. Epictetus said, "A person's worth is not determined by external approval." Read that again. Let it hit. You don't need permission to trust yourself. You don't need applause to know your path is right. You don't need their comfort to validate your courage. So next time someone questions your steps, smile gently and say, "Yes, I'm sure." No debate, no defense. Because when your confidence is rooted in clarity, it becomes unshakable. And those who try to chip away at it, they only reveal how fragile their own path really is. Undermining your confidence. When nothing else works, when they can't guilt, you can't sway, others can't shake your confidence, they light a match. They provoke, they insult, mock, twist your words just enough to sting. Not because they want a conversation, but because they want a reaction. Their goal, make you lose your cool, get emotional, explode. Because if you snap, you become the problem. They get to step back, fold their arms, and say, "See, this is what I was dealing with." They want you to burn up so they can look calm. But listen closely. You are fire, not smoke. And fire doesn't flinch. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." That means no yelling, no proving, no matching their energy. You don't need to explain yourself to someone who only wants to see you unravel. Smile, say nothing, walk away. Because real strength, it's not loud, it's not dramatic, it's quiet and unshakably firm. When someone tries to bait you into a fight, don't bite. When they dig into your past, poke at your insecurities, or press on old wounds, just breathe. Let them exhaust themselves trying to set a fire that you refuse to fuel. Because here's the truth. When you control your response, you control everything. That's power, that's peace, that's the Stoic path. Copycat behavior explained. Sometimes the strangest thing happens. Someone who once tried to outshine you suddenly starts imitating you. They couldn't beat you with competition, so now they try to become you. Your ideas, they recycle them. Your style, they mimic it. Your path, they quietly try to follow it, step for step. At first it feels flattering. Then it starts feeling off, because you realize they're not inspired. They're trying to absorb your light. But here's the thing, imitation is never innovation. It's not leadership. It's not authenticity. It's just a shadow, and shadows vanish the moment the light changes direction. Seneca nailed it. Character, not imitation, defines a person. You weren't built from borrowed ideas. You earned your perspective. You lived your truth. You became who you are through struggle, choices, and integrity, and no one, no matter how closely they mimic, can replicate that. So what do? You don't shrink. You don't call them out. You don't waste time trying to protect what was never theirs to steal. You evolve, you grow, you change course. Because the more you become more you, the more impossible you are to copy. There'll always be one move behind reacting to what you already did. And that's the secret. When you stay original, their imitation becomes their limitation. So keep shining. Keep leading. Let them chase a version of you that's already miles ahead. Secretly hop. Not everyone who smiles at you is rooting for you. Some people don't want to control you, influence you, or even compete with you. They just want one thing: to watch you fall. They'll smile when you share your dreams. They'll nod when you speak of growth. They might even say, "I'm proud of you." But listen closely. It's hollow. Because when you win, they go quiet. No congratulations. No support. Just silence. But when you stumble, they're the first to whisper, "See, I knew it wouldn't last." Not out loud, but in that smug silence that speaks volumes. It's not envy. It's not competition. It's discomfort with your strength. Because your rise reminds them of everything they're not willing to become. And that's why Stoicism is your anchor here. Epictetus said, "Do not waste energy on those who hope for your downfall. Your journey isn't a show. It's not a performance for critics in the cheap seats. You don't rise to prove them wrong. You rise because you have something real inside you, something bigger than their doubt. So when they sit back, waiting for the crash, let them. And when you fall, because sometimes you will, don't look for them. Don't explain. Don't defend. Just rise again. Because nothing unsettles those waiting for your failure more than watching you succeed anyway. So, what do people do when they can't control you? They manipulate your emotions. They twist your words. They play the victim. They isolate you. They make you question yourself. They push your buttons. They copy you. And when all else fails, they wait for you to fall. But here's the truth. If your mind is calm, if your heart is steady, if you refuse to be shaken, they lose all power. Because true control doesn't come from dominating others. It comes from mastering yourself. Your peace is your shield. Your silence is your sword. Your character is your compass. So don't get pulled into their chaos. Don't fight battles that drain your soul. You don't need to prove your worth. You just need to be it. Live so deeply rooted in who you are that no lie, no tactic, no whisper can move you. This is the Stoic path. And if something in your heart whispered yes today, if something clicked, resonated, or simply reminded you of your inner strength, then I invite you to walk this path with me. Subscribe, not just for more videos, but to stay connected to the calm truth beneath the noise of the world. We're in this together, and the journey inward is just beginning.